What up, you lab rats? This is episode number 27. We're talking about Facebook, marketing, revenue, and overwhelm. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the lab. My name is Megan.
I'm Kevin.
Let's get in the lab. All right, so how are you, B?
How are you?
Good.
I'm doing good.
I'm kind of like, I kind of have stomach ache. We ate some hot dogs, and we never have hot dogs really, and I always kind of crave them every now and then, and I always get a stomach ache after. I never learn. I have a stomach ache right now. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to get down to talk about, namely Facebook. That's really interesting because that really impacts our business, so we're going to get into that.
Yeah, Facebook is changing like always.
Yeah, like always. I mean, like any marketing thing, because, you know, when business kind of infiltrates the things that were used to be fun and social and, you know, it kind of ruins it. So sorry, that's kind of our bad as marketers in general. We kind of ruin things for people. That just happens as time moves on. But I wanted to, before we start the show, kind of set us in the mood. We had a kind of like review / text from some previous clients. You remember Patty and Vince?
Yeah.
Yeah. When was that? That was like
3 years ago?
Okay.
Yeah.
Long ass time ago. But anyway, it's always kind of nice to hear like, you know, previous clients come in and tell us what's up, and they tell us good vibes. But I want to read a text that they texted us, because remember, you guys can text us questions, comments, reviews, and stuff like that. That's awesome. And so you want to read it? It's right there.
Yeah. Lay-Vus or soon to be Lay-Vus. Keep killing that podcast. I figured the awesome job you guys are doing with the podcast warranted a text, but I'll leave an iTunes review too if you want. Keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks Pat. Patty and Vince.
Patty and Vince, yeah. So thank you guys for listening and sticking with us. We really appreciate that. And yeah, you can always leave us a review in iTunes if you love the show. We'd love to hear your thoughts, even on how we can improve the show. I'm always kind of thinking about that. It's just a matter of executing it and the needs and wants of you guys, because without you guys, we're not doing this show. Because we could just stop, you know, but we get a lot of interaction and little things like this keep us going, keeps me going anyway. Okay, so we have a couple of questions that we're going to get to as well, but let's start off with the 1, 2, 3 couples tag. Okay, so let me find that really quick. Oh, here we are. That's it. There it is.
So
okay,
number 4.
I think we're on number 4. Okay.
So number 4, are there people you don't like, and are there people that don't like you?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. So people that I don't like. Oh, I have 2 very obvious ones right there. We call them the trolls, but in general, I try not to do that anymore. You know, I kind of used to be this person, and I still probably am, but I'm really trying to kind of turn over a new leaf with that, is not to put out that type of energy, because for one thing, it's a waste of time and it's exhausting to say and to act on things that you don't like, right? Just avoid it. Like with the trolls, I just like, okay, whatever. I just try to try to drop it as much as I can. But with people, you know, people are people, you know, you just got to let them be. And if you're wasting time hating or disliking or using any energy that's put towards that, it's a waste. It's a complete and total waste. And it only makes you complain, which is also a waste of time. And also, you know, puts you in a position of not being in power over your life. So I don't like feeling like that. So I really try not to do that. And that can be kind of like a habit that you've built up, like me. But you're the only one who can stop doing that. And if you want to be happier, which I do, because I was like kind of irritated all the time because I let that stuff get to me. And so now it's like, okay, I just try to cut off my emotions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. with things that I don't like, because it's like a waste. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you know. And then are there people that don't like me? Probably, yeah, because
Yeah.
of how like
I mean, how society is, there's always going to be someone that hates you or someone
hates
that's
you. I hope nobody hates me
or jealous or don't like you, but
yeah.
You can't stop that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just someone's opinion.
Yeah.
And there's people out there watching YouTube right now that probably don't like us. So
Yeah, probably
we
hating
can't
on the
control
show,
that.
like whatever.
But what's cool is that, yeah, you can like us or you don't like us. It's still, you know, it's a conversation starter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever though.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's a weird question.
yeah, it is kind of a weird
That's
question.
stupid.
I don't think it's stupid, but I think because it brought up that kind of thought pattern in me, like,
Yeah.
I do have that kind of issue before, and now I'm
Mhm.
kind of changing it. But are there people that you don't like?
Yeah, I don't like anyone. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
He doesn't like anybody. No,
that's-
actually,
that's our dog Kaden.
Yeah.
He doesn't like.
That's
He
exactly what I
obviously
was
doesn't
thinking.
like me. So
he doesn't like anybody.
no, but no, I
got that coming toward you.
there's no one that I would say, yeah, I don't like you or.
No,
yeah.
you're very easygoing, much
Yeah.
more than I am, and I'm like, how could you do that? I don't know if that's like the female brain or that's just my brain, but I'd always be like, man, you're too nice,
Huh.
or whatever. And I think it's kind of good model for me to be surrounded by that, because I have that issue of hanging on to things and
Yeah.
wasting energy on my dislikes, and I'm all about attraction and shit like that. So like the more that you think and focus on stuff that you don't like, the more you see it.
Hmm.
Right. And that has been my experience. Like when I stopped worrying about stupid shit like that, and I allowed myself to be happier by not focusing on that crap, like, yeah, I was happier.
Yeah.
It's like, right. I was happier around the house when I stopped complaining about so many things. Just do it,
Yeah.
And I feel like it's much lighter around here anyway. Okay. So what should we talk about first?
Anything.
Okay. That's kind of broad. But I just finished I just wrapped up things with my client, Chef Koga. Feel free to check him out. He has an amazing wealth of knowledge. The more I get to know him, the more that I am impressed. And the more that I can see many more opportunities, just as people in the business together as marketers. I'm very excited about that. And I'm going to link him up in a bunch, because he has his hands in a lot of things. So I'm going to link all that stuff in the show notes if you're interested in that. But there were kind of like 4 to 5 things that I wanted to talk about. That I laid out in a blog post saying how I kind of capped off my revenue, and I'm starting to think a little bit more in depth about how I'm going to structure my revenue streams for Clean Media and for us moving forward. Because we set forward a goal for ourselves, but we're not really putting in motion the plans and the things that we need to sell and create and do to get to that number. And so I'm going to lay all that out in a blog post, but the first and foremost was like me not being very clear about my financial goal. And so I think that's super important. Like when you first started, the photography thing, did you say, I want to make X amount of dollars?
No, I don't care
now
about
you
the
do.
money. I mean, before, I was young and
No,
it
right
was my
now,
hobby.
Right now, like we put forth a number that we like.
Well,
just as a financial
right
goal.
now, because we have a lot of responsibilities of paying for a mortgage, paying for, all the living day expenses. So yeah, I add all that up, and that's how I become that's how I know how much I need to make.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing about this is how much I want to make. It's basically what I need to make in order to have this particular lifestyle that I want.
Right. Yeah. So, I'm not saying like just focus on the money, but you need to have a set kind of goal, because I was telling you like the motivations for me running a business and making money are not simply just to hit a number. And I wasn't making that clear to myself. So the reasons why, because money doesn't motivate me. What motivates me is buying really rich, organic, healthy food, which is expensive, or decorating our house, which is freaking huge and you have to fill it with a bunch of stuff, or like plants that are expensive, or whatever, like all that stuff that would create the life that I want for us. That's why. But I wasn't kind of making that distinction in my brain, and if you're not making those motivations known to you, and you're not taking advantage of your own selfishness, like I'm in that sense, like I want to live in a paradise, right? Like I want it to be lush and all of this stuff. So I need to take advantage of that selfishness, and that's how I motivate myself. And that's the same way that you can motivate other people, because I was listening to an Ask Gary Vee show, and he's like, if you want to motivate people, you need to dig in deep beyond money. Sometimes money does motivate people, but for some people it's, they really want that, fancy standing desk, or, lots of plants everywhere like me, or whatever. Yeah. Like you need to get to the root of why they're doing what they're doing to bring out the best.
I guess, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I needed to
I think, for me, what motivated me in photography was able to photograph in unique venues that I've never been to. And like the type of person I am, I like to explore. Right. And I like to be in new areas and new locations. So it really drives me in photography. And it's exciting. You know, it's...
I mean, I see that. It's like, where's the venue? I mean, have we been there like 5 times already? If we have, then it's not about the money. Yeah. Yeah. It's about the experience.
A new experience. Yeah. All the experience.
And that's really
great. The cool thing about weddings is that it's always a new experience with new clients. And the experience with the client at the same venue can also be different.
True. But when that happens, like 7 times, you're like, man,
if it happens at like a particular venue like Rancho Las Lomas, I really don't care.
Well, if it's a nice venue, right?
So,
but if it's like the Villa,
no, if it's like Nixon Library, then sorry, Nixon Library, even though you're like 5 minutes away from us, like,
yeah.
Anyways,
because your creative heart kind of like wants more. You know? All right. So another thing, those were kind of 2 things that I kind of noticed about myself. And another big thing that I'm kind of realizing how I kind of am actively capping off my revenue, our revenue, is that we're in the service business. Okay. And that kind of sucks. And that was really made a point. I mean, we've known this for a long time, and we always talk about what can we scale? You know what I mean? And it's very hard to scale a business that's based on the work of a technician. As I was talking to my friend Jeff, you can't scale that work because you got to do it yourself, and unless you create a system by which you create a product or something that can be scaled and sold, by and large, by many quantities.
Yeah, I mean, you can't scale a service business, but I mean, a lot of people those big business have scaled their business. For example, like 24-hour fitness, it is a service-based type of business, but it just racked up a lot of trend where now they're popping all over the United States.
Well, their business models based on these products, these machines, right? Or tools. They sell these tools, basically. They sell an area where you can access the tools to work out. And so... like, I was just thinking, like, there is a way for us to turn our service-based business into a type of tool or product that we can sell. We still put our touch and our spin on it, of course, and it's very, very possible. And I think that's going to be kind of my next process, because I was doing the numbers, I was doing the math, and there's no way in hell that I'm going to take on 100 clients of rebranding them in a year.
Well, then probably you should start reconsidering about multiple type of versions of you. So, for example, I used to work for Flightographer. So what Flightographer was, it was a company that's based in Canada that wasn't able to photograph all over the United States. So they will start hiring photographers in each state that wants to work for them. So they'll receive all these booking and just send photographers out. And that's a scalable service business.
That is scalable, but still dependent on a technician. So I mean, if you want to managing people versus managing tools, that's kind of your preference, right? So I think in my mind, I think where clean media is going to go is going to focus more on creating tools.
Okay.
I think for me, that's better because it's hard enough to manage the team members of this team, plus the maybe one or two extra that we're going to take on for Kevin Levu photography. But that's my thinking right now because reasonably, I don't like doing the service part of jobs forever. Like
Okay.
I want something I want to be liberated from it and then.
And I think we're different in that stage because you don't want to do service, but I really don't mind. So.
Yeah. Yeah. If you love to do the service, then that's your calling. So I thought about that, and that's just something definitely you have to think about. And I don't think it's a matter of choosing one or the other. I don't have to stop doing what I'm doing. Like sometimes rebranding and doing what I did for Jeff, like that was a lot of that I really loved. Yeah, even though it's service based, right? I still really love doing it. I love messing around with design and stuff like that. So another thing is, which I'm going to talk about probably later. I was going to talk about utilizing the upsell and the downsell, but I think that's for another time. But let's talk about Facebook.
Okay.
So a lot of this is going around. Maybe you guys seen it on the social webs that Facebook organic reach is basically dead for businesses. What else have you read?
I mean, what I've read was, and what you told me basically in one word, it's a yellow page. So Facebook has become a yellow page for businesses. And the first thing that you turn on Facebook, you'll see an ad. And that's true.
Yeah.
So people are saying like Facebook used to be a free social media platform that anyone can market their business on, and slowly they start charging businesses to market their page. So now it's not an organic social media platform anymore because now they start charging to advertise.
Right. So now what? Now I think what really matters is you're still producing quality content that's evergreen, and you know how to use the basics of SEO marketing. You're tagging in all the right places. You're keyword researching and all this stuff. None of that black hat shit, but writing quality content that's like to the right people, and also writing for places like Medium. And still remaining true to whatever platform you're on. It's like I was telling you last night, for Instagram, if you want more Instagram followers, you got to post more.
Absolutely,
of you, not just the edited perfect images that were taken on a Mark III.
Yeah.
We've still got to remain native to whatever platform. Otherwise, we muck up the system. And I think that's kind of what happened in Facebook. And that's kind of inevitable. I think that's
what happened in MySpace, and that's what's going to happen in Instagram slowly. So
I mean, already we're seeing sponsored posts in Instagram, and I was shocked for a moment. I was like, what? Who's this JCPenney on my feed?
Yeah, slowly. I mean, Instagram is allowing you to use your business name to open up an Instagram.
So see, I mean, it's going to happen too.
But it's owned by Facebook.
Yeah.
And Facebook is always going to fluctuate their rules and change things up.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Is there going to be just the next, whatever, the next Facebook, the next Instagram that kind of rotates in to take its place where it's just waiting?
Think Tumblr is everyone's just going to migrate to Tumblr.
Why Tumblr?
Just because you can market your business on there without a fee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But who's on Tumblr?
All the kids.
All the kids. So
all the kids in the next generation.
Yeah, therein lies the kind of issue. Like there's going to be this gap between audience and businesses. But more and more, we're seeing like YouTubers who are like 21, 22, shit like that. They've got their own businesses going on now. So maybe the age of entrepreneurship is lowering year by year, even by month. What do you think?
I think more and more kids are catching up on making their own YouTube films. I mean, our generation pretty much caught up to that.
I don't know. I feel sometimes we're behind because Tumblr, like, I try, but
No,
it's just like I'm not.
I feel we weren't addressed to YouTube, but those that were around the camera at a younger age, they know how to work it, and they're just as old as we are.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you were brought up.
Maybe. Where do you see it going? Where are we going to market if you can't market on Facebook? What's going to happen to us? What are we going to do?
Well, basically, you have to start back to square one, is to get out more and start socializing with your community and within your industry and participate. Like for us, we have photography conventions, we have photography contests. Submit your photos and, start participating more.
So being a little bit more human.
Yeah, being more human, and that's and be nice.
Yeah, and you're going to WPPI, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you this year?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, I mean, every industry probably has its own convention and its own parties and workshops.
Yeah.
So people going and participating within their community will definitely stir up some referrals from other friends,
Yeah, that's cool. And you know what? Look at the rise of organic produce and farmers markets and locally produced honey, and this kind of trend of the local small farm, that kind of deal, like getting back to our roots and returning back to a neighborhood kind of feel or township instead of this global kind of thing where you've just become a like or a number. And perhaps that's going to be the next step for us to kind of interact with each other on a smaller scale, a more neighborly scale, which is kind of cool because we were kind of in that for a little bit, I think, in our youth, but then it just skyrocketed with the internet, and we really kind of got disconnected from each other and being on our phones all the time. And now we're seeing kind of the kind of dissonance that it creates within like your life, how you're so like hooked in to the web. And I think maybe we're catching on to that as a whole. And we're going to kind of return back to our roots and be more like small towny, more neighborly and stuff like that. So that's going to be
It's
exciting.
always a cycle, you know. I mean, back in 1980s, a lot of people were opening up businesses as well.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see about that. But interesting. I want to know your guys' thoughts. You can leave them in the comments. Where do you think Facebook and social is going? What are your kind of results happening as you market on Facebook or Instagram, or what's going on over there? That would be really interesting to kind of see. So put that in the comments. Okay, so we have some questions to answer.
Okay.
All right, you want to read that first one?
How to continue motivation when you're not motivated?
Okay, who's this question by?
Michelle
Ingolfson. Okay, so how do you continue motivation when you're not motivated? It doesn't last long.
That is a good question.
You know what we do? We don't do anything. If we're not motivated, we straight up don't do anything. You know why? Because we're not mothers, for one thing, because I know, Michelle, you're a mother. So it's funny, you were like, I don't have time to do whatever. I was like, no, we have all the time in the world. I think people that are, who are mothers, or they're raising families and things like that, like, I can't speak from that perspective. I mean, I just can't. I'm not in that place.
Is this particular question addressing to like our work or to our lifestyle?
I would say both,
Okay. Like when I'm like, how to continue my motivation is to always look up to like other inspiring photographers or just looking at their images and seeing like, whoa, it's mind blowing. And that's something that motivates me, is to try to keep producing mind blowing images. Other things, I mean, that motivates me in life is probably working out,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I look at other, I don't want to look like a blob when I'm looking at the mirror.
Where's your Maui body, V?
So yeah, I do work out hard.
No, you do.
Yeah.
And I think I want to thank you because you like I was never a gym person, and now you got me like this pass, and you introduced me to this, you know, awesome gym. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool
I
gym.
never thought a gym could be fun, but it's because they have so much shit up in there. You're just like, ooh, I want to try this, I want to try that. You never kind of get bored, which was my issue.
Only in this new gym, though.
Yeah, only in this new gym. Yeah, it's pretty freaking fancy gym. But I was so pumped, like after I work out, because I can go at my own pace. I don't have to worry about somebody like, you know, yapping at me or whatever. I can just do my own thing.
Yeah.
And then it's got a bunch of these awesome stretching things, like this stretch cage that's freaking amazing, and this other thing that's great for my back, and all of their machines kind of tailor to my back issue. So I was like, oh, it's like a sign from God. I'm just going to go up in there and just use everything. And then there's like a spa afterward. I just have such a great time. And that's why I'm so excited to get my pass in the mail, because I'm going to go and freaking just go there for an hour. Like I never do that.
Yeah.
So I that always motivates me. I've kind of been in a slump because I've been waiting for like two days for my pass. But yeah. So how I continue to get motivated when I'm not motivated is that I allow myself to take a break, but not too long. So I'll either binge watch like Friends for a minute, or play games until my eyes hurt because I'm old now, or what else? Just go surf stuff on the web. And then I'll probably listen to my favorite motivators are Gary Vee, because he like yells at you like, get up, hustle, you're stupid. And then it motivates me. He's got like a tough love kind of thing. And who else? I think that's he's like the main thing that I listen to when I want to get motivated, is the Ask Gary Vee show, or any Gary Vee thing related. It's just very crude and like, just get up and do it. Second question.
How to overcome the overwhelmed.
Okay, we're going to assume that you mean how to overcome being overwhelmed. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, what the heck?
Let me see. I was overwhelmed last week because I was trying to figure out, for one thing, like I was trying to systemize the work I was doing because it was beyond the scope of what I expected. Plus, you were like, when are we going to hang out? And then I was like, busy. And then we had to figure out, you know, scheduling and stuff like that, and making time for each other.
Which I feel having two different businesses in the home is very hard.
Yeah, because they're on different schedules.
Yeah.
When that time comes, like,
in comparison to a regular couple that just working 9 to 5, it's on the same schedule.
Oh yeah. So I mean, the work kind of never stops, and I think it's up to both of us to set for ourselves limits. So you know how you were talking about, oh, you still want to not work Sundays, and I was like, saying, well, perhaps, you know, let me think about it.
Yeah.
And I think it is important that I do not work on a Sunday. We call that our day or whatever, or we just call it a no work day. You know, I think that is really important, because otherwise you prioritize your business and you keep falling into a pattern of prioritizing your business. And often I would be on the end of that for your side if you were doing your thing, and now you felt that on your side because I was doing my thing. And so I don't think that's very fair to the both of us. So I think from a couple standpoint who work from home, and it's hard to turn off the business, because you can get an email right now, and you can get an inquiry, and you will feel compelled to to reply to it. Yeah. Especially like, okay, say we're having dinner, or you know, waking up and check your phone and there's an inquiry, you feel compelled to reply to it. Yeah. Or I get a text, right? Something like that. So I think it's super important that you remind each other, and you routinely check those boundaries that you set for each other, because it's kind of hard to turn that off, and you can get too excited and caught up in prioritizing your business over your relationship. But I think the most important thing is, maybe sometimes that will happen, but the most important thing is, like, I just tell you, or you tell me, like, it's just for right now, like, it's go time, that kind of thing. Yeah. It's go time right now, so we'll make time for it later. Instead of saying, like, I'm busy, and then you just kind of cut it off, and you can't reassure the other person or your partner that you are thinking about
Yeah.
that is in the back of your mind. It's just it's go time right now. Like I have a deadline or whatever. So did we answer the question?
I believe so. I'm not too sure.
How did we overcome being overwhelmed? I think I don't think I answered the question, but I was just saying I was overwhelmed last week. How we handled it was, I think we just communicated to each other at that time, like it is go time right now. I believe we had that conversation. That's just what needs to happen right now, and we'll make adjustments later or whatever, or something like that. There needs to be some kind of open communication to where it's.
If you're overwhelmed, like don't schedule your your schedule that way.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you need to say to yourself, okay, this needs to change. Maybe it's difficult right now because it's the first time, or it's whatever, like it's an experiment. But you need to kind of make note of that and say next time will be better, so that we don't feel this way.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's kind of been the first time I've been overwhelmed, because I wanted to test myself. So I kind of wanted to experience that overwhelm, but I imagine that your overwhelm is probably different. And shit. Okay, let's take a break. All right. We have one last question. It's kind of a weird question, I'd say. It's from Stephen Vu. How life starts out hard and begins to become easy after. And then I didn't really understand that question, so I asked and dug a little bit deeper. And he says, so you want to summarize this? So life is a little hard for me because of school. So I think here's the root of the problem. The tests and the quizzes stress me out. All right. So I'll let you take this, and then I'll put my input after.
So what's the question?
So why is life hard because of tests and quizzes? And, he's having trouble with school. School is stressful.
I think life in general is a test. Everything that you do is a test, and that's what school is preparing you for, is for when they kick you out after high school. It's up to you now if you want to go to college or you want to do something for yourself.
He's Asian. He'll probably go to college.
So,
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, just saying
That's very similar to what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stephen, school is difficult, or it may be difficult right now, and it may continue to be difficult. But these are kind of the things that pressure you to become smarter, better. What else? More trained for life. Because if you have everything easy for you, okay, say I gave you everything, and you got everything on a silver platter, and everything was provided for you, and you never had to work a day in your life, you would be utterly helpless in the world. As a human being, you wouldn't know how to do anything. You wouldn't know how to figure things out for yourself. And so while school may seem retarded right now, or like, why do I have to learn trigonometry? Like, I totally understand that. We both felt that way. Like, why am I learning this? What am I going to do with this? And part of learning stuff or kind of going through the motions of school, even though you may or may not use it, is the fact that it disciplines you. So can you sit through a class? Can you be patient?
Yeah. It's also showing you like your abilities and what you're good at and what you're not good at.
Yeah,
so
what if you didn't know?
Yeah.
Right?
So, I mean, even though you hate algebra or geometry, then you already know math is not for you.
Yeah. But then they keep testing you over and over again. Yeah, so it may seem like a waste of time, but there are other things in the process that you're learning beyond a simple equation. It's the patience and the discipline to sit through a class, or to develop your social skills, because how else are you going to develop that?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where you learn all of your kind of people skills, rudimentary anyway. So if you're not good at one thing, focus on your strengths and really, really focus on that, and just kind of get through the school.
Yeah.
It'll pass. It'll pass. Focus on what you're really good at. Never stop doing that. But all the other stuff, it's kind of just... It's just going through the motions of growing up. You kind of need it, right? Okay. So What are we looking forward to? That was it.
Well, for this week, pretty much just.
You're busy this week.
I think I'm busy every week.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, we had a little bit. You had a little bit of a break last week. But.
And it was quite boring.
Yeah.
Even though I worked out, it was very boring. So,
telling you, man, you need a hobby. You need to do something other than shooting and working out. You need something else, because then otherwise you go, oh, we don't do anything, and that's only because you don't have anything else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I have like a million other hobbies. You need a hobby. That's all you need. You just need a hobby.
Yeah.
Go make some soap.
We've
been making soap, guys, and you know what? I think maybe we'll show you. The next time I'm not lazy enough to go get up and show you, but we're making soap, and that was interesting.
Yeah, that was. We'll do something else.
He totally lost it. I love making soap. That was cool until it got kind of crazy. Yeah, go get a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What am I doing? I think I'm going to be kind of tightening things over here on this ship. We're getting a lot better at creating blog posts for kevinlevu.com.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm writing more about marriage and relationships, which I love. And we post that every like Tuesday and Thursday or something like that. So if you want, you can check that out. And I think that's it.
Working on your clean media production.
The clean media, I'm messing around with that some more and trying to figure out a viable product for me instead of me working every single week. Like I don't think I want to go back to doing that. But yeah, good things, I think. And then Maui in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, Maui in 2 weeks.
Maui in 2 weeks. I do not think I'm ready. Just ate hot dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, clean eats from now on. And the gym. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to go back to the gym. All right, guys. So good things. We'll see you next time in the next episode. Be sure to leave us some questions that we can answer, just like these that we answered here. We answered the crap out of them. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Once again, my name is Megan.
Yeah, I'm Kevin.
And we're out.
And we out.
See ya.